Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I want to just rip the band-aid right off here. Apparently, the latest DLC is not fantastic. They've been working on fixing it, but it apparently has a number of issues. We are currently on the open beta version of the game, and this may or may not have some issues. We'll see. So with that caveat out of the way, let's just talk a bit about what this series is intended to be. So we're going to hop into single player, we're going to do a new game, and we're going to be starting this in Gathering Storm. So that is absolutely wonderful. We are going to be doing other countries. We're going to select our country, and the country is going to be British Raj. So the idea here is, which you may have figured out from the title of the series, which I actually know what the title is going to be before I start recording, right? That's really weird. But this is going to be an attempt, anyway. We'll see how it goes. This is going to be an attempt at being pacifistic and British Raj in 1936. We are going to attempt to go towards the East India Company. We'll see what is required for that. I have no idea. I'm going in pretty blind here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to try to stay as out of wars as we can. It should be interesting. Now, note that we don't have historical AI focuses on here, and this is just going to be regular difficulty. It should be fine. So we're going to hop directly in here. We can't get achievements because the game isn't in Iron Man mode. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing an Iron Man campaign on a beta. That's not going to happen. We're just going to dive right in here. I don't care about the achievements. It doesn't really matter. So let's see what we need to do in order to get British Raj back to the East India Company. Should be interesting. Okay, so there we go. We are loaded in now, and I want to immediately check, is this a national focus thing, or is this a decision thing? Look to the past sounds like something to do. Let's see. Secure weapons and stir unrest in the north? Oh, we would break away. Okay, is this about becoming the East India Company again, though? Look to the future is probably not that route. Self-rule. Okay. Uplifting the people of India. So this is about becoming India out over here. I'm pretty sure. There are a lot of things in this tree. Okay. That is a very extensive tree. No doubt about that. So this is the incorporation of the East India Company here. The British Raj would become known as the East India Company. So we actually do need to look to the future rather than look to the past for the East India Company. That's a little odd, but okay, sure. So going to the East India Company would, in theory, be pretty okay then. So we would need to go for Great Depression price controls, and then we would simply just work our way down that direction. Is that a path to independence? I'm not actually certain that that is a path to independence. Let's see here. Take over administrative rights. Corporate expansion, blah, blah, blah. Princely autonomy. Maybe not. Vertical integration, yeah. We could potentially... this is mutually exclusive, so we can't go out this direction and go to self-rule in addition to the East India Company. Okay, so I'm assuming there's probably a way to get independence over this direction. Most likely. For now, of course, what we're interested in is some other things at this moment. We have a research slot available, and we're going to be interested in using our research to get more research for the time being. So electronic mechanical engineering is something I definitely want to go for. And then beyond that, we can start boosting up our production efficiencies. Boosting production would be a good thing. So looking at the way that we are set up militarily right now, we're not planning to do any aggressive expansion, ideally. Based on what I was told, there's apparently a new system in the game to be able to expand economically, and that should be interesting. We'll have to figure out how to find that. So they've changed that button for sure. Experimental facilities. So this is new since last time I played. It's been a while since I played Hearts of Iron 4. I'm not going to lie. So we can buy and sell equipment here. Interesting. So this is done by factory, I'm assuming. I mean, we don't have anything to actually offer here. But that's definitely an interesting option. So this is the old trade system. Yep, that seems pretty familiar. Nothing too different on this. Okay, so this is our construction here. This all seems relatively similar as well. Although there are these experimental facilities, which are new. So that's good to know. For the moment, what we want to do is we want to just absolutely load up on the civilian factories. We are planning to be as peaceful as possible, and if we need to, we can convert them later. That's the overall idea. So I'm just going to go through and queue up all of these civilian factories. This is probably a terrible idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we're just going to do that. If we can get our civilian factory production online, that is, of course, going to be huge for us. So we'll just get all of these done. There we go. And then after we get all of that done, because all of that will be put towards, or at least a significant amount of that, will be put towards our construction, and this will be a bit of a snowball. So that'll go faster and faster and faster. We only have 5 civilian factories available for construction? That's really slow. Okay. So we're going to be interested definitely in putting in some infrastructure. So that would be a good thing to do. We'll queue that up after we get all of those factories going. That snowball will take some time. No doubt about that. Also, the fact is that since we're not on historical focus, I want to be clear. It's possible that World War II doesn't start here. It is very, very possible. So, let's see here. This is British Burma out over here. Okay, so this is our territory, this is our territory, this is not our territory. Okay, we did not build any factories out over here. Just wanted to double check that. Cool. So that looks good for now. I want to check in this infrastructure over here. Yeah, we still need more infrastructure up over here. So something along the lines of this. And did we get the factories down here? Yes, we did. Okay, cool. So that looks good for now. We have no divisions in basic training, and basically we're just looking to be able to hold the line here. I'm going to get 2 units, and actually I'm not even going to do it this way. We're going to get 2 units of infantry going here, and we'll just add an additional unit here. This will be fine for now, and we'll just get that going. So that's okay. Our dockyards are currently free, and how many military factories do we even have? We have 1? Okay. Well, that's not a lot. So that's definitely noted. Okay. We can reorganize the railway system. This decision can only be taken once, and the bonus will disappear if we construct more than 3 additional supply hubs. Okay, so that's understood. For the moment, we're not actually concerned about building supply hubs, so we'll leave that be. And I don't really care about this either. So that seems absolutely fine for now. Okay, so this is our intelligence agency here. We don't really want to create the agency yet. We don't really have the factories for it. So we're going to have to invest in our domestic factory production. Absolutely, no doubt about that. So Great Depression price controls are absolutely going to be a thing. So this is going to modify the Great Depression and replace it with Depression price controls. So you can see here, factory output minus 15, dockyard output minus 15, stability minus 15, and the consumer goods factories factor is currently 40%. Okay. So the Great Depression price controls are going to modify that, and the factories factor is going to change by minus 55%. So it's going to go to negative 15%. I must be reading that wrong. Regardless, it will boost our output, and that will be absolutely great. So we're non-aligned. I think we should try to stay non-aligned, if at all possible. And we should also probably try to swap around some of our laws, but I think civilian economy is fine for now. Captain of Industry is not a bad thing to go for. We do not have the political power for this right now. But getting this guy would be very, 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 very good for us. We definitely want to get some of that going. Let's go ahead and unpause for now. I'm going to take this up to speed 4, and we're missing some equipment production. What are we actually missing here? Close air support? Why do we have close air support? Okay, sure. We can't actually make any close air support, but I guess there's no point in even queuing anything up here. We've only got one military factory, so I think it's absolutely fine. So our unassigned divisions are, of course, up over here. For the moment, as far as this goes, the main concerns... Oh, this is new over here. I just saw this over here. These buttons up here. So this is the nuclear raid button. This is the air bombing button. And this is the paratrooper raid button. Okay, so that's raids there. Good to know. So this is just about, like, striking a position without trying to occupy it, I would guess. That's neat. That's definitely neat. So thinking about the overall position we find ourselves in, right? We are in the Allies, and this is the current strategic position. I'm not too concerned about it right now. So that seems okay for the moment. We're going to head forward here a little bit, and we can see that our fuel is going up. That's good. That's exactly what I want to see. So we need to be banking up some political power here. That's absolutely fine. The Great Depression price control is going to give us plus 20 on that. So that sounds good. Very, very good indeed. We have some unassigned divisions. Yes, this is fine. I'm not actually that concerned about it, although I'd kind of like to get these guys into a new army. Do we have any commanders available? Yeah, this guy will do. And I'd like to get a front line that's kind of in both of these places, right? So this is going to put us up a front line here. But I also want a front line against Afghanistan. For now, this will do. So we'll have that be the case. And then our other units that are not assigned to anything, let's have them be part of a new army. It's a fairly small one. And they are going to be frontlining. We can't frontline against China. This must be all impassable. Yes. Okay. So that's good. We don't actually care about British Burma. So then the question becomes, what about the Soviet Union? That's impassable. So that's not an issue. So we can frontline against, like, Xinjiang or Tibet. Let's head up over this way for now. So that should do for the time being. We're going to continue to bank up manpower, but mostly in these early portions of what might end up being the war. We will see. In these early portions of what might end up being the war, we are looking to build up factories. And the longer we have, the better. So we can see this is going to now finish on November of 36, so that's going to take a while. Civilian economy is reducing our construction speed by 30%. Ah. We could maybe think about changing this. But I don't really want to. At the same time, I want to remain on civilian economy, I feel like. So let's just go through our focuses for the time being. I think that'll be okay. And what's our autonomy currently doing? It's mostly just chilling. I think it's going down slightly. We're at 333, now we're at 332. Okay, yeah, so that's understood. So there's Great Depression price controls coming through. So now we know for a fact that we need to look to the future. We can also take Tradeport. That gives us 4 building slots, 2 civilian factories, and 2 infrastructure in the province of Aden. Honestly, I feel like that's a really good thing to take fairly early on. Fortifying it, I'm not that concerned about, although that would still give us an infrastructure. That's not going to invalidate going to look to the future. So the 2 civilian factories here will actually be a significant boost to our construction throughput early on. I think we should do this. So we're going to get going on that. And yes, our dockyards are currently free. I am aware of this. We maybe should build convoys, actually. Let's just get going on that. That'll be fine. Okay, so everything is proceeding reasonably nicely here. If we look at this, we can see there are now 10 civilian factories working on building this civilian factory. So that is going to buy us some time. Or rather, that'll start this snowball rolling a lot sooner. The more civilian factories we can have early on, the better. Very, very much that's the case. That will prioritize building repairs over construction? Yeah, no, we don't care about that right now. So this is absolutely fine for the moment. We did manage to get our... actually, I want to check here. So minus 15%, not 55%, but that 40 minus 55 is minus 15. So are we currently not devoting any factories to consumer goods? No, we're expecting 27. Okay, so that's just giving us minus 15, and then the factors multiplied together to give us 79%. Gotcha. That's fine. The question of a den. No. We want to keep it. We absolutely want to keep it. Get out of here, Britain. Britain wanted to take that over from us, and that's very rude of them, of course. So they are our overlord, and what can we do to think about bringing up our autonomy here? So that's something I would definitely like to think about. Improving relations is probably not really something that we need. Yeah, there's not really much that we can do there right now. Widespread protests in the Madras states. Well, the protests against British rule have erupted in the Madras states, with local law enforcement reporting escalating violent clashes between demonstrators and authorities. So resistance plus 65%. Or we can disperse the crowd. We're gonna tell the police to stand down. We don't want British rule either. We want to become an independent East India Company. It's gonna be great. What could possibly go wrong? It's not gonna be great. But it will be funny. So we'll go with that. So at this point, we're just about, there we go. We've now finished up the trade port. And that gives us access to additional consumer goods factories in theory. The remilitarization of the Rhineland. Okay, so Germany is going that route. Noted. Well, for now, I want to hop over, and we could fortify a den. It's an interesting question, whether we want to delay this or not. Let's see. Consumer goods factories factor minus 5%. Weekly stability. Civilian factory construction speed. I think we should probably look to the future and then fortify a den. That's what I'm thinking right now. It's only a 35-day differential, right? But Turkey has remilitarized the Turkish Straits. Good for Turkey. I'm sure nothing bad will come of that. Excellent. So taking a look at our current fuel amount, we are building up our stockpile. That looks good. And we can see that we have 12 factories right now. Of those, only 9 are currently working in South Baluchistan, so that's understood. One of those factories was redirected to consumer goods at some point. Okay. So Portugal holds this. France holds this. Noted. We could modify our officer corps. Do we really want to do this, though? This costs political power, and I don't want to spend political power on that at this exact moment. We do have some resistance to occupation. It's okay. We'll get over it. So for now, that seems reasonably fine. We're going to finish up some of these technologies fairly soon here. And when is this going to finish? It doesn't actually say in this tooltip. Okay, so that's roughly half. Understood. It's going to be a while. No doubt about that. So we're down to 12 factories, or up to 12 factories? Yeah, we're up to 12 factories. That looks okay. For the moment, this is absolutely fine. Now, I'm going to just try to keep these relatively even here. It'll be a little slow. That's fine. We're not particularly concerned about defense at this time. Electronic mechanical engineering has finished, so let's work on something else next. So research speed plus 4% for bomb sites 1, or is that just for everything? I think... Well, actually that is that 4% research speed. That is a good thing to take. So we're going to take that. We're not ahead of time on it right now, so let's just grab that for the moment. Beautiful. So that looks good for right now, and South Baluchistan is still a ways away from finishing. We're going to get that done in September. It's 39% done, but there's looking to the future done, which is going to get us a decent amount of additional... Ah, these have gone away now. Noted. Okay. So I'm just taking a look at what trees we still have available. We're obviously going down this direction, right? So we can lobby Parliament. What will this get us? We need the British opinion of us to be at least 71. Advisors would become available to hire, but I don't really care that much about those advisors right now. We could seek initial funding, though, and that would get us 3 civilian factories when completing incorporation of the East India Company. Okay. We'll take that for now. That's not going to be an initial increase in our construction, but we are going to get at least a 5% boost here. So that'll be good. Depression price controls is giving us 5%, but we should have gotten... I'm not seeing it in the tooltip there. Hang on a moment. Civilian factory construction speed plus 5% from Look to the Future. Maybe this hasn't updated yet. Maybe. Regardless, it's fine. We'll get there when we get there. We need to get that snowball rolling, though. That is of vital importance right now. So everything is looking reasonably fine on that front. Now we're at 138 political power, and we had mentioned that we wanted to get this guy in here for that sweet, sweet 10% civilian factory and infrastructure speed boost. What do we got this? Second London Navy Treaty? Okay, sure. I wish them luck with that. We don't really care about it, to be clear. So we're going to be going for the Captain of Industry here for sure. And then we'll see what else we get. Maybe this guy would actually be a good one. Consumer goods factories factor and research speed. That would probably be a very, very good thing for us. Stability and research speed. This guy might actually be better. Okay, we need to go for the Captain of Industry here. So that will boost our civilian factory construction speed by 10%, as well as other things. But right now, getting this speed boosted up by 10% is a big deal. There we go. I'm still not seeing the bonus in here, the 5% bonus that we should have, but it's fine. Whatever. This is an open beta. Maybe it's a little buggy. That's fine. So they're seeking initial funding. Now that's going to give us civilian factories eventually. The UK doesn't have high enough opinion of us right now. So we can fortify a den, and we can then work on boosting the UK's opinion of us. It needs to be at least 71. So their opinion of us is 40. The Kingdom of Poland crowned a king. Really? Okay. Well, I wish them luck with that. So I want to improve relations here. We're just waiting for the political power to do that. The Bolivian Socialist Revolution of 1936 has happened. Okay. And let's improve relations up here with Britain. Okay. So that looks good for the moment, and we'll just give this until fortifying a den is completed and then reevaluate. Hopefully we'll have enough by then, but we may not. Oh, we're already up to 55. That's going up fast. I thought it was going to be 0.4 per day. It's going up by like 3 per day. That's insane. Okay, so we're very happy about that then. That's definitely going to go well. So there's basic machine tools finishing up. Next, what we want to do is probably take Construction 1. Construction speed is a very big deal for us. We could also take, like, Concentrated Industry. That would be an interesting thing to go. I don't think we're going to need Dispersed Industry, so Concentrated Industry is probably ideal here. But for the time being, we're going to boost our construction speed because we got to get this going. So 11 August is at this point when this is going to be finishing. And you can see it's definitely sped up a lot because we're going to get 30% in like 3 months. So that's a big improvement, but we could definitely do a lot more on that front. So a den is going to get fortified here in a few days. I want to check in on the UK's opinion of us. 88, not bad. So we're definitely high enough at this point. And once we get this completed, eventually, here in a couple more days, we're going to start working on the other section of forming the East India Company. So there's fortify a den. That looks good. Now we can lobby Parliament. We don't need to do this. We could skip this, but I want to do it anyway. So we'll get that going. Excellent. And the black shirts are organizing in the UK. Well, that could be interesting. It would be a good reason for us to break away, so maybe that's not a bad thing. For the time being, of course, we just need to lobby Parliament. We just need them to exist for 35 more days, which is going to happen. That's absolutely going to be a thing. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to probably formally found the East India Company once again. Should be awkward. Should be very, very awkward. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.